we're preparing our vegetables now for this Vietnamese tofu. So once everything's ready, then we can do the fun bit and get back in the pan. But we're going to just get ourselves organised. So garlic first. Now I'm very happy, Bunny, this morning because I got my garlic out and I had a look at it, and because I got it from Asda, you know, don't get it from anywhere else if you're in the Britain. Asda's got the best garlic. Why? Because you've got good big fat cloves. Brilliant, means less peeling. You don't want small cloves, big cloves. If you're going to peel a clove, peel a big one. And also they sell them in big bags, so I like it because I don't have to keep remembering to get garlic, and a bag will last a bit, and it peels really well. Mainly because I've got something quite big here to hold on to, I reckon. That bit there, that doesn't look very nice, does it? I think we might just have to reject half of him. So we've got about 20 grams of garlic. It's really garlicky, this, but it's hidden in such a rich sauce. So there we go. Those bad boys are just going to go sit happily over there. The next ingredient is red onion. Now I know that by this stage you will have cooked other dishes in the course because you will be following the rules. There are very few rules in this course, but one of them is to cook things in the order I release them in. And you know, this is a little bit further on in the course, so you'll have cooked a little bit and you will now know to cut onions on the diagonal. So you cut the top and the bottom off, and then you cut them on the diagonal, because then it makes that a little bit easier. So I've got 6 here. These Asda onions, they're a bit smaller, they're a bit cheaper. I buy a lot of ingredients, as you might imagine, because there's a lot of cooking, development, there's a lot of practicing. So I go through things, so I am cost aware. So I'm doing them all here. This recipe needs red onions, definitely for how it looks, definitely. I think also for how it tastes, because it's this Vietnamese caramelised tofu. So caramelised, as soon as anything says caramel, we think toffee and things, don't we? So, you know, we have to adjust our onion according to what the recipe is about. So when I developed this recipe, I went with red onion straight away. When I developed this recipe, I made it in the kitchen, and then what I do is go and sit down, having put it on a knife and fork, put it on a plate, I take a knife and fork through into the dining room. I don't quite get changed for dinner, but I do sit down with a notepad and taste. You know, because when you're in a kitchen cooking, you can sort of keep tasting and your palate fills up with stuff. So I don't do that. I sit down and I try and taste it for the first time as a diner. And I must say that I didn't have to write anything down when I first developed this recipe, apart from a bit more lime. So I added a bit more lime and then put it onto my delivery menu for lockdown, because that's how I survive financially. And winner, yeah. And everybody loved it. And so I'm very excited about teaching you how to cook it today. We did actually record it last filming session, but I watched it back and I don't know, I just thought that we could do this a lot better. So yeah, I did it for one last time and it just looked, I don't know, a little bit lonely in the pan. So we're just doing this one again. So that's that done now. And you know, don't rush through your jobs unless, you know, you need to, because it just makes everything a bit horrible, doesn't it? Rushing, stressing. Stuff in the kitchen should be nice and fun. It shouldn't be about rushing and stressing. I've always found that my food is much better if I'm relaxed when doing it. So we're just cutting some strips of pepper. Just tilting the knife, the sharp edge, well away from my fingertips. I'm actually moving my fingertips away from the whole thing. You know, my fingers are my life, and I bet your fingers are your life as well. So This sabatier knife is a present, and I love it, and it goes with me wherever I go. Got it from Dunelm, I think. That's that. So we've got our pepper, and now we want to go back and we want to cut these onions into petals. We need petals because we need the structure of petals. I kind of like to think about petals as little boats carrying a flavour, but I think by the time they're cooked, they're not boats. You know, that's just my whimsical mind at work when I'm cutting and chopping and cooking. So, but yeah, I mean, sometimes if you just do them specially for the top of a dish and really take care of them in a pan, they are little boats, and you can actually dribble sauce it. And I used to do that for the supper club in Kendal when I did that in 2018, that was, I think. So here we go, we've got these now. That all looks good, doesn't it? So we can pop that back in there. So do make sure always keep your bench clean and tidy, but especially if you're about to pan fry loads of different ingredients together. You know, you just want to have your feet on one spot and be able to grab everything and put it in. Right, so the next thing we need to do is prepare. Nearly caught my nail there. That would have hurt, wouldn't it? Then it would have made good film. So I'm just going to just prepare a couple of wedges. Chris, the cameraman, and I are going to have this for lunch. So the dish that I'm making is enough for two. We're going to get our faces around this afterwards. It's going to be lovely. You don't need a new board. Just get a bit clean like that. Just wipe your knife off. And we're just going to prepare this coriander. The coriander's just going on the top, so we don't need too much of it. This coriander's from Aldi. I think the herb from Aldi's all right. I personally, though, I probably err on Asda if in doubt, but you know, food prices as they are, Aldi herb's fine. Just always check though, they're quite naughty because they cover it up with this. So what I tend to do is just shake it down and actually have a look at what I'm getting, and it needs to look nice and fresh. So that's there, that's ready. What else do I need to do, Julia? Here we go. So we're doing some corn flour. I'm doing a corn flour slurry. Don't get your knickers in a twist about corn flour. You know, you need a good couple of tablespoons in there. Just in a little bit of water, 2 or 3 tablespoons of water, that doesn't really matter. Stir it in. This is going to thicken the sauce. We might not use all of it, but I'm just making plenty. I'm going to have some water to hand as well. And that's all ready. That's nice and smooth now, so I think we can just see what that's like. Corn flour slurry. That's ready. This is ready. Is there anything else I need to do? No, we're done. I have actually got some green beans. I got these out yesterday. They've just been defrosting, you know, regular frozen green beans. So I've got everything ready. Oh, you see, it's worth a double check. We're just going to slice off these bits of garlic. I'm doing a little bit of a diagonal chop on the garlic. Why? Because you have a greater surface area when it finally hits the mouth. You see, these big cloves are good, aren't they? Now they're sliced. They're good. Got a good big wedge of garlic there. Lovely. It's being pan fried. It's being covered in a sauce. Yummy dum-dums. I can't wait for lunch. Chris, when he first had this dish, he never had tofu before. I think I got this on film somewhere, and he just loved it. But he didn't come with preconceptions about tofu. I think sometimes people have it and they don't like it, and then they become fixed. So let's all unfix and get ready for the meal of our lives. That is done. We're ready. We're going to clean up a bit and then get these lovely little pieces of delicacies back into the frame and make this into the best dish, Vietnamese tofu.